Welcome to the Decent Crypto Podcast. Today is Sunday, June 11th. We are back. Matt, how you doing?
We are so back. It's great to be here in New York City. We just got back from the Solana hacker house. I tried to pick up a couple of Solana phones, but they were out. So I don't know if that's
everybody's buying Saga phones.
They're fidgetals.
That's not what we're here to talk about. Well, kind of. Solana,
yeah, kind of.
Solana is always relevant, always in the news.
Yeah. It's got sticking power, you know? Like, anything bad that happens, you can generally have Solana in the conversation somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta say, just going back to the hacker house, like, the thing was pretty well done.
Yeah, super well done.
Pretty professional, good, good execution. It seemed like people were there for a specific purpose. Everybody was actually building. We saw a few demos. A couple of them looked decent. I mean, this is the state of crypto right now, is like anybody that's doing anything that's not a scam. It's like, oh, okay, great.
Nice. We still have builders.
Yeah.
It's also like, I went to like an institutional event over the week to like this happy hour. These things used to get like a couple hundred people there during the bull market, and even as late as like mid 2022. Fast forward a year, and there's like 30 people there, and I'm like, oh man, like this is kind of a sad state of affairs. But the builders have stuck around, I think that's one thing that Solana really does have going for it, is people that build targeting Solana continue to build on Solana, right? They're not jumping ship to other like Rust-based ecosystems. Like, they like Solana, like our friends at Samo.
Yeah, our friends at Samo crushing it. They're sponsoring the event. I don't know still what they do, but they have these little Samo
it's
coffee
a dog
cups.
Coin.
It's a dog coin.
I think true. I know what they do. We're not building the future of social media. Are they building the future of social, or the future of finance, or what?
They maybe
both. There's Samo Pay, right? Isn't there Samo Pay?
That's what I mean. I have no idea. The fact that there is a Samo Pay, it's impressive. Even the dog coins are more impressive than the other chains' dog coins.
Yeah.
The big problem with Solana is that it's so fast and so cheap to do anything that it just creates a culture of jeets. And so everybody just dumps their coins like immediately.
Yeah. Because you can take profit without worrying about gas at all, and so the market is much more dynamic. Like I saw a great tweet from this guy Block Grays, who is the number one top signal of all time on Twitter, and he's like, "Yeah, man, I gotta admit, the Solana technology is impressive. Look at how fast people are dumping."
Look, maybe that's also like virtue of the crowd being a little more sophisticated when it comes to just markets, in the Solana space. They bring more of the, either it's like TradFi people or just people who've been around trading also. Yeah. And so they don't fall for the rugs as much. They fall for a lot stupider stuff. But like these like meme coins don't really take off on Solana.
Yeah, it's true. It might be partially because there's relatively little liquidity, but it's also partially because on Solana people take profit very quickly because gas is so low, right? So if you ape into a meme coin and it goes up 10%, you just sell it, right? Like you can literally always buy back in. There's no barrier to exit, the way there is on Ethereum.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think NFTs, that's true too. People flip like just a lot faster on Solana than they do on other chains. But yeah, good event overall. Felt pretty bullish,
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest takeaway I had, I don't know if I already said I had a biggest takeaway, but this is another takeaway I had, is that Solana is like, everybody talks about utility, right? But they like actually everybody's just building around utility on Solana. It's like, ticketing or like identity or like payments. like these are the types of applications that are getting built and that were at the Hacker House and presenting at the demo day. So it's basically like even, the smallest kinds of like interactions you would have in, like at a concert or with your friends or whatever, like they're kind of building those micro interactions into Solana based transactions, using, NFTs as some of the, mostly it's all around NFTs, right? It's like you go to a concert and like you like can swipe your whatever, this QR code on this thing, this whatever wristband that I'm wearing, and it'll give you some free tokens as you enter the festival or what have you. And that lets you redeem some like free drinks at a booth there. And the more you engage with certain things at the concert, the more you earn and the more you unlock and like all this kind of stuff. So the thing is, it's really only possible on a fast chain like Solana, all this kind of utility-based stuff like ticketing, all these things that like applications that people have been talking about for years. And yeah, now like people are building it. I would say still most of the stuff won't pick up. Again, the problem right now with Solana is that the underlying assets really have no value. Like there's nothing really of value on Solana. But if that is the long-term kind of model where it's these utility-based NFTs, then you can see a world where like you're just getting dropped tons and tons of stuff into your wallet. You have hundreds of like random little NFTs, but once people start building cooler, like better like indexers, better marketplaces to actually exchange that stuff for stuff that's valuable, then maybe a lot of those things start picking up more inherent value and the ecosystem builds that way. So I don't know. It's all just little building blocks. The fact of the matter is they are still at it. There were, I don't know, like 100 people there today.
Yeah.
And probably like a few hundred that visited throughout the week. So, yeah, I don't know how we got this deep into the Solana Hacker House, but that is my take on the state of Solana. Not financial advice. Do your own research. Shorting is generally the best move in crypto.
Over the last week, yeah. We should do a thing where each week we just like long or short, and like that's it
for the next week.
And see if we do better than a coin toss.
Yeah, that'd be pretty fun actually.
I think coin toss is gonna outperform.
Coin tosses can probably outperform on a week by week basis. Yeah, it would be fun to do it like on a like very like regular basis. So it's like we do it every week, and we do it every month, we do it every quarter. We do it every year, could be
fun.
good.
We could even make it an app or something. Let our listeners do it.
Oh yeah, let everybody else join in on the coin toss.
What if we did like a Twitch plays crypto thing where like we let everyone just like log on and say bullish or bearish on on the market overall, and then we see like we allocate like $100 or something and see what happens.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Just like the Solana challenge, just like every week. We'll start with like 10 SOL. We'll do like 1 SOL every week.
Lose a SOL every week.
Yeah, lose a SOL every week. Okay, that sounds pretty fun. That's a good segment for us to do it on a weekly basis.
Yeah. What do we call it?
Bullish or bearish?
Bullish or bearish? No.
We can come up with something. Listeners, if you're still listening, come up with a segment.
They're not.
Nobody's listening. Give us a name for this.
Yeah. Non-binary.
Yeah. It would be fun. I mean, we can just do honestly, we need to hire a community manager to like set up a Discord for us, run the Discord. Yeah. I kind of want to talk to our listeners, see who they are.
Yeah, it would be fun.
We found out we had some listeners who are YouTubers.
Yeah, that was wild.
Yeah, wait, how did this come about?
My sister sent me this video of just like two dudes talking on YouTube. Like, you know what crypto podcast I really love that I would recommend for our listeners is Decent Crypto Podcast.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at it, I'm like, who the fuck are these people? Like, I've never heard of them. Like, my sister had nothing to say. And I was like, who are they? She's like, I don't know. I'm like, wait, what? Like, you don't know? And they just shouted us out. It was really weird.
No, but like shout out to them.
Yeah.
Appreciate the love. I'm trying to find who these guys are so I can specifically shout them out.
We'll put them in the show notes.
We'll put them in the show notes, but what the fuck? Who are these lads?
Oh, I sent them in the group chat.
Oh, you sent them in the group chat?
Between you, me, and Vlad, I think. Yeah.
Vlad. It's probably two AI Vlads, as I said.
Yeah.
Vlad
it's a different crypto podcast. It's called Sometimes Crypto.
Sometimes Crypto. Nice.
They have 21 subscribers, 65 videos.
Nice. Legends.
Absolute legends. Dude, this guy wears the same black t-shirt every episode.
Nice.
Anyway.
Cool. So yeah, wait, we should do that, and then we'll launch our NFT collection, and then people will be super hyped about it.
Dude, we talked about launching an NFT collection on like 9 chains right now.
I know, but now we actually have a thesis. It's going to be on Bitcoin.
Yeah, it always has been.
Yeah, it has to be on Bitcoin.
So you want to talk about the week?
Yeah.
Great week, honestly.
Great week.
Overall, just like a lot of regulatory clarity.
Yes. So Binance got sued, and then Coinbase got sued
by the SEC.
A bunch of the assets that they list. So first of all, so let me finish the gist, I guess. A bunch of the assets that they list, the SEC said are securities that they are serving or letting their customers trade that are unregistered securities, including Solana, MATIC, Cardano, a few others like Chili's, Atom. Atom is like, dude, no, they just can't catch a break, dude. Just down bad forever. Never buy Atom. That's the biggest takeaway. Like, this is financial advice. Literally, never touch Atom.
Yeah, I don't think we have a single listener that was thinking about buying Atom.
I don't know. Dude, I have some weird, some of the normie people who are mid curving their way deeper and deeper down the crypto rabbit hole.
Yeah.
They discover Atom and they're like, wait, what? Layer
Modular.
0 for all blockchains?
Wow.
it just makes so much sense.
It's a whole universe.
Wow, it's crazy, right? Did you know, Cosmos, 2014? And then it's no, just don't touch it.
Everybody says the same thing. They want to find a way to invest in Cosmos.
Yeah.
But not if that way is Atom.
Yeah. So then both of them get sued. Coinbase counters by saying they're not going to delist any of the assets mentioned.
Binance says they are going to delist many of their pairs on Binance US only, though.
Yeah, Binance US also then froze new deposits.
They froze new deposits, yeah, and the DOJ ordered them to freeze customer accounts and withdrawals and everything. I don't think they complied with that. But for a minute, did you catch this? Every token on Binance US was 10% more expensive than on any other exchange because people just wanted to get their assets off, and they were worried that they weren't going to be able to wire out the fiat. And so the only way to do it is to just buy Bitcoin, send yourself Bitcoin,
right.
Buy ETH, send yourself ETH. And I was checking prices on Binance US randomly because I meant to open the Binance app because it's the best mobile interface just to check prices. And I accidentally opened the Binance US app and I was like, holy shit, ETH is at 2K? What the And they're yeah, no, it turns out it's just the Binance US users trying to get their cash out, which is kind of fucked. Which is interesting because basically if you deposit crypto in there, you can sell your crypto for Binance US dollars.
BUSD, fiat,
But it's fiat on the Binance US exchange that you can withdraw to a bank account. Except that basically that fiat is trading at a discount because people are worried it's going to take 3 years to get that fiat out. They'll have to wait for legal stuff to settle for the case to get cleared up, and then at that point they'll be able to take their dollars off platform. which is an interesting asset in and of itself, the Binance US fiat dollar.
Yeah, it's like it's kind of like a Binance, like a treasury, you know.
It's a claim on it's like a claim on dollars at some point out of the Binance US ecosystem. So I thought that was pretty interesting. And if Binance US dollars went to say 10 cents on the dollar, would you buy some? Knowing that like 3 years later you'd probably get a quick 10x.
Probably not, because they're probably going to get seized.
Seized.
I don't know. If DOJ goes after Binance US. I mean, I would imagine they get seized by I would not seized, but I would imagine that Binance, the entity, if they lose in court, right, they won't have control of the assets.
Of the Binance US assets?
Yeah. It would be DOJ that has control of the assets.
Well, if they lose in court, they would get slapped with some kind of penalty, and they would have to stop doing the things that they were accused of, right? But it doesn't mean that the whole operation gets shut down necessarily.
I don't know. I have no idea. I'm not a lawyer.
Yeah.
But I'm not comparing Binance US to FTX, but it's there's situations where it's the whatever government agency it is.
If it declares bankruptcy and then it goes into a liquidation process.
Yeah,
right? Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I could see the US government being fuck the users, fuck the depositors onto Binance US. That's our cash now. That happens all the time with random police seizures and stuff, property forfeitures and all that. So I thought that was interesting. The Binance case had two kind of angles to it. There was one angle, which was the sort of classical, these are securities, stop offering them. And then there was the other angle, which is you guys have
seizing customer funds.
Yeah, exactly. All the improper conduct, right? Sending customer funds to slush funds
to
that are owned by
Circle.
CZ.
Yeah,
Merit Circle. Nice.
Yeah, that's the name of the fund run by CZ.
Wait, isn't Merit Circle a fucking gaming project too?
Oh yeah. Wait. What's the what is the CZ thing called? Merit Circle is
it's a gaming
thing. Merit Peak.
Yeah. We are a decentralized, autonomous organization on a mission to revolutionize gaming.
I remember being shilled Merit Circle by
Merit Circle, YGG.
It was 12 bill market or FDV at the peak.
Dude, this is insane that not only did we have all this random super dumb GameFi stuff at the peak, we had things like Merit Circle and YGG that were doing guilds for GameFi. That's the sort of crap that the smart people in the room were thinking about a couple of years ago. It's just really hard to imagine.
Real Pico talk stuff.
Yeah. You can borrow a DeFi Kingdoms hero and go quest.
Great Ponzi.
So anyway, there's the improper sending of funds to Merit Peak. There's they maybe ran their own internal market maker. There's allegations of they didn't do enough to prevent market manipulation, et cetera.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of internal communication that was revealed.
Yes.
And so it seems like
we are running a fucking unregistered securities exchange in the US, bro. This shit could go to zero anytime. In reference to BNB and Binance.
Wait, and who wasn't that the chief compliance officer?
That was something like that.
I mean, that's a fucking banger of a tweet.
That's a banger. Well, yeah, because it was basically one employee, another high level employee, asking this guy, "Hey, should I hold BNB? Because I think it had pumped a lot." And he's like, "Should I hold this? Should I sell?" And he's like, "This shit could go to zero at any time. We are running a fucking unregistered securities in the U.S. securities exchange in the U.S., bro."
Bro.
And then the SEC screenshotted that, put it on a red background, and then tweeted it out. The actual SEC official account.
Yeah. I mean, that's fantastic.
I'm loving it. This is basically just a rerun of Billions. It's just CZ and Gensler as the two main characters.
Yeah.
And it's just Billions.
He even kind of looks not. He doesn't look exactly like him, but
he looks like a very skinny, frail version of that guy.
Yeah. He looks like how when there's a story in real life and then they write the movie or the TV show and they have an actor to play them.
Yeah,
it looks exactly like that.
Pretty much. Yeah. Even CZ and Bobby Axelrod. It's like CZ is like a real life billionaire, and then Axe is like what a TV billionaire looks like.
Yeah, dude, exactly.
Yeah. All right. Amazing. So yeah, we live in billions now. Crypto,
yeah. Welcome to Billions.
I don't think we are early any longer.
Who's the therapist?
That's
Kobe.
A good question, Kobe.
Yeah.
Wow. I don't think so because Kobe's leaking that CZ's gonna have red notice alert coming soon. So I mean now that seems like more likely now, right? Like Interpol red notice for CZ.
I guess.
I mean now that DOJ is involved, I mean more likely than before.
Yeah. I mean there's actual crime allegations.
Yeah. I mean, okay, not taking away, just talking here, They probably improperly moved some customer funds at some point. It's come on, let's be real.
Dude, I don't know,
fucking
man.
Crypto.
You have this much fucking money, you're gonna fuck around with customer deposits,
You don't think in the history of Binance ever there was ever a time when they were fuck, all of our banking partners are screwing us, we can't get money around here and there. Yeah, not even borrow some, but it was look, if you're CZ, right? They're look, every fucking bank does fractional reserve. You don't need all the deposits there at all times. People aren't gonna ask for their deposits back all at once, right?
Yeah.
So if we have 40% of them there, we can use the 60% to cover some other shit up temporarily.
Just for a minute, for a little.
I'm just saying, in the history of crypto, there has been so much. First of all, shady shit. That I definitely believe that has happened, whether it be at Binance or other exchanges. But that aside, I also think that there have been similarly to Tether, and that foundation where it's just sometimes you just don't have the access to resources or whatever. You just need to move money around because you can't get money from elsewhere.
And thank God for crypto, it transfers instantly.
Yeah. Where it's I can just absolutely, having worked at two big exchanges, I can absolutely see situations where, and I don't think obviously this has happened at Coinbase or Kraken, but it's
I don't think at Coinbase or Kraken anyone would risk it. Right?
No, but it's I don't know, at a completely unregistered exchange
Qcoin, Binance, MEXC Global.
For sure, MEXC. I don't know, any of these exchanges that are not registered, you have no visibility into the funds,
No, so here's my counterpoint though, right? Crypto is also a place where shit happens disproportionately to what you think could happen. So FTX going under, right? Nobody thought that was a likely outcome for a long fucking time. It took us all a long time to be oh man, maybe the funds aren't there.
Mm-hmm.
And it only happened once literally everybody started withdrawing, right? And so this is a space where the blue chip asset has so much volatility that it went to 4K. Right? Bitcoin went from 20 to 4K pretty quickly. You get crazy fucking capitulation candles. You get crazy pumps. If you're trying to run something that's a little bit shady, right? Part of what you want to do is make sure that as you do it, volatility doesn't it's any kind of leverage, right? The more volatility you have in the underlying asset, the more likely it is that you hit a 6 sigma, 6 standard deviation fucking event. And you're caught off guard and you don't have the funds to continue to cover up whatever, right? It's let's think about Bernie Madoff, right? That was only discovered because of the financial crisis, right? So like Binance has been around for so long, through so many market cycles, through so much random shit, through like runs on the bank, right? Like remember when Binance had its own little mini run on the bank after FTX? Like, and it was solvent, right? It remained solvent. So like, if you were going to do shady shit, you'd have to be really careful about it in crypto, because eventually, like, if there is a leak in the boat, like, it's going to get discovered.
Yeah. No, I agree, but that's also why I kind of think that
at some point there was something.
At some point there was something, because it's like, for them to have survived all this stuff, just think about every single one of their competitors dead. Every single one is dead.
Except for Coinbase and Kraken.
Yeah, but they're not really their competitors. They're
That's
completely
true.
like fully compliant, like regulated exchanges in the U.S.
Yeah. Well,
like,
what else?
Through the history,
BitMEX,
bro, like
FTX.
fucking Mt. Gox, BitMEX, FTX. Everything else is irrelevant, dude. Like, what else is even doing volume right now?
Yeah,
like
that's
a
true.
BitGo, like
Deribit.
No, it's not.
No, I guess not.
That's the thing. They killed Deribit too.
Wow. Dead and gone. Dude.
The only it's like basically just Binance, and then like on chain, or you have the regulated side, just Coinbase and Kraken.
Yeah.
I don't know, like maybe like OKX and like these other exchanges, like mostly it's other Chinese exchanges are doing a little bit of volume,
but it's very rare that you go.
And they offer niche products that Binance doesn't offer generally.
Like ordinals?
Like BRCs, like an ordinals, like OKX has that. KuCoin is like in the US but offers margin.
Yeah. That shit's awesome, by the way, guys. Shout out, use my referral link. Actually,
Bybit. Bybit actually does.
Bybit,
but that's because they offer like crazy leverage.
Oh, interesting. I have some like OG homies that were like into like Bitcoin mining back in the day, and Bybit is the only exchange they use.
Yeah.
Pretty interesting.
I know a lot of like trader types who use only Bybit.
Interesting.
I think they have good funding, good liquidity for their perps. I don't know. I don't trade much, so I have no idea. But
as you shouldn't, because guess what happened this week?
So the whole market's.
So Binance gets slapped and things are down.
So is this the charge to Binance US, Binance, or both? Or CZ is all three?
All three. Yeah. All three. And it's big. I mean, there's like, it's something like 100 something pages, right? Including a lot of material on the underlying assets and why they're like alleged to be securities. Yeah. Now, this is interesting because like you read through it, and on some of these projects, you're like, all right, I can see the point, right? And on some of them, you're like Atom, you're like, okay, that's clearly not a centralized enough thing that like there's any case for like, I mean, these guys are so disorganized. First of all, no one invests in Atom with the expectation of profit, right? Like, second, like these guys can't even get like fucking Atom 2.0 through. Like they can't. Like there's just so much like decentralization going on there that like it's literally too much for Atom being too much for its own good, for sure. And then on the other stuff, some of them you're like, I could see it, right? But and obviously we're not securities lawyers, so take this as you will. But like one of the interesting things for me was most of the evidence that they like submitted like as part of the investigation looked like kind of like intern level content. It was like someone out there was tasked with like put together 12 pages on why this token is a security, and then they just had to fill it with details of like whatever. So they had like some like super relevant detail that like Solana is based in California or so, you know what I mean? Or like they'll just have like random shit in there that's not actually related to it being a security at all. There's a lot of instances of that where you're like, what? Like, did you guys just copy paste the white paper into this thing in bullet point format? Like, come on. So that felt pretty slapdash. The other part that felt pretty slapdash is that like, so you have tokens listed by Coinbase, you have tokens listed by Binance, you have some subset of them that the SEC apparently believes to be securities. And then they list like some of them in the Coinbase accusations, and then some of them in the Binance ones. But there are tokens that are listed by Coinbase that were called out as securities in the Binance document
Interesting.
that were not called out in the Coinbase document, and vice versa. There are tokens that are listed by Coinbase and Binance that were listed in the Coinbase one, but not in the Binance one. And then there's like everything in the middle, right? So like it just felt like the whole thing was put together really carelessly, and just sort of like in a hurry to try to get all of this stuff to press, without like, it just doesn't feel like they care much if this holds up in court.
Yeah, it does seem like it's mostly for show.
Yeah. Which I think, like, I don't know, like, if you want to, like, transition into, like, you want to transition to the market interpretation?
Yeah, sure. I mean, is this another, like, bottoming event?
A couple more liquidations, dude, than
yeah.
So, bottoming event. I like that. It's the bottom, So, well, not for Adam, unfortunately.
No.
We'll never be the bottom
like,
for
yeah,
Adam.
for most of the alts now, I think this is kind of the death blow, where it's like they're just not coming back now.
Yeah.
Because I think now, for most of the potential buyers that they had, like, they're just not touching this shit now.
Yeah,
it's going to take a long time.
Let me name a token. You tell me if you think anyone's going to buy it from here on out. Okay,
yeah.
Ready? Doge.
Maybe.
Okay. Ape.
No.
Really? Okay, I'm bullish Ape.
Oh, God, no. I know it was one of my biggest holdings in our draft.
Yeah, it was the number one pick. Yeah. Dude, the FOMO portfolio was killing it. I think.
My Lord.
Because I had Luna, you had Ape. Like, we should check in on that.
Correct, yeah, we should. We'll do the quarterly update at the end of the quarter.
Might be even almost a year now, I think.
Oh, yeah, true.
Anyway, okay, I'm going to keep naming tokens. You ready? Okay, AVAX.
Yes, actually,
because
it wasn't named, right?
Well, it wasn't named, but it was down just as much as the others.
Yeah, it's down just as much.
I got a lot of calls this week, like, because I like full disclosure work at Polygon, right? And I got a lot of calls like, "Yo, man, like, why didn't Avalanche get named?" And I'm like, I don't fucking know, man. I don't even have my answer to why did you guys get named is also no comment. But like my answer for why did Avalanche not get named is very no comment. I have no fucking idea.
No idea.
Anyway.
I don't know. I think maybe the only reason I can state is they can somehow maybe pull off this like real world assets subnet play with Evergreen or whatever it's called is the first one, and then a bunch of them kind of following suit. Chances are low, but that's the only route I see.
I could see it. The other thing I think that they might do, now this would be like pretty interesting, and if I were them I would totally do this. I would like pre-register as a security, like so for example like Ethereum,
Stacks.
Ethereum can't exactly like Stacks.
Ethereum
can't register as a security. Nobody's fucking in charge. Ava Labs can absolutely come in and be like, we offered a security. Tell us what fine to pay. Tell us how to register. Get the shit traded on the NASDAQ. And they would love getting traded on the NASDAQ. Like that's kind of been their goal. Like, you saw the Subway ads, right? Like, doesn't it feel like it would be part of their plan?
Definitely.
Come in, pre-register as a security, start doing like 10Qs, 10Ks, whatever. Avalanche comes in, registers as a security, gets listed on NASDAQ. Bullish or bearish?
It depends what price it's at that time. At this current level, in all of that stuff happened, and it's still at the same price, then I'm bullish.
If it goes down between now and then, say it goes...
Oh, for sure, bullish, yeah.
Okay.
I think the market is pricing in right now that it's basically just like steady state. It's going to be like number 3, number 4 in the smart contract race.
Interesting.
I think if they do all that, they definitely go to becoming clearly like
a winner or
one of the clear winners, and so it'll get repriced.
Okay, more tokens. Pepe.
No.
Pepe's dead. Pepe, no, not coming back next cycle.
No.
Okay, interesting.
It'll get a pump next cycle, but it's not like a. all these things, like, they'll get a bid in the next cycle because of just market dynamics, but it's like, I'm thinking about outperformance
in
here.
terms of Bitcoin and ETH.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I would say if you're looking at Bitcoin and ETH terms, I would say, I don't know about never. I'm just thinking about like pure outperformance. Like none of these are going to outperform.
Litecoin.
Oh God, Litecoin. It just never dies, but I would definitely not bet on outperformance.
Solana.
Yes, I would.
Really?
Yeah. At this current price, again, like I bet on Sol to $1 this year. So it's at like what, $15-$16 right now. So it's a little above my prediction, but
just a bit though.
Just a little. No, I don't think it's not going to go to $1, but I could see it going back to its low of like 8 or 9.
I mean, it's only down like 90-something% so far.
It could go down another 90%.
Okay. MATIC?
It's tough.
Yeah.
I don't see it.
Yeah. It's tricky. Yeah. I got no comment.
Yeah, fair.
Okay, so the interesting thing was, if you look at the play-by-play, Binance comes out, things are down. They're not down that bad. They're down 5-6%. Bitcoin down a cool 2, right? And I'm like, God damn it, the bottom's in. Like, if this kind of shit hits the tape and like Bitcoin either down like 2%, that's really good, right?
Yeah.
Like, we're clearly in up-only season again, max bid, right? And so things are down, and most of my like normie TradFi friends are like, securities, and the next day Coinbase news comes out. I was actually in between meetings, so I have a first meeting and I'm like, hey guys, like just wanted to let you know this whole Binance thing, we're going to have a lot of questions around this. We should figure out what our messaging is internally so that we know that we're like approaching this appropriately, blah blah blah. And then the Coinbase thing comes out, and I'm like, maybe we cancel the internal meetings. So Coinbase comes out, and things dump a little bit, and then pump. Did you see this?
Yeah.
Like, it pumped considerably for like a couple of hours.
Just completely retraced.
Yeah, just up only, dude. It was amazing. And then the following day, Robinhood announces that it's going to delist Solana, Cardano, and MATIC because they are alleged to be securities. And at the end of the month, whoever forgets to liquidate will just get them market sold.
That's wild.
Yeah. I guess what else are you going to do? I don't know. But
add to the treasury. Add them to the treasury.
Add them to the Robinhood treasury?
Yeah.
What? Like, you're just going to take the user funds? I guess, hey, it's crypto.
Well, yeah.
Look, I mean, Robinhood's really interesting, too, because they totally have the infrastructure to support securities trading. Everybody that's a user on Robinhood is allowed to use it to trade securities. Yeah. But I guess the issue is that these are now unregistered securities if they're deemed securities. And so they, Robinhood can offer their users registered securities, but not unregistered ones, blah, blah, blah. Cue a bunch of people emailing me about how much of these tokens does Robinhood have? Unclear. They also give you a button to just send it to your custodial wallet or a non-custodial wallet. It's send to yourself in the Robinhood Wallet app. Yeah, because there's a Robinhood Wallet app, which is pretty sick.
Huh.
Anyway, and slowly the market starts to digest this. So this happens at 9-10 a.m. on Friday. Market starts to digest slowly. It's down a little bit. It's down a little more. It's down a little more. By the end of the day, by 5 p.m. or so, each of these things is probably down 6-7%. And then I go to, what was I doing? It was someone's birthday party. That was pretty fun.
Yeah.
Go to my friend's birthday party, start dancing, come out of the party, go home, have a slice of pizza on the way, walk the dog, take the dog back in. And I remember opening my phone and being like, that can't possibly be right. I'll figure it out in the morning. I wake up in the morning, mildly hungover, and everything has fucking nuked overnight. It was the wildest chart. Did you see this thing? It was you know,
Just a
the
full,
previous
full,
days, like
full.
7% looked like, you know, this, and
Yeah.
then like a quick like drop to like like prices you wouldn't have believed, and then
Yeah.
sort of retrace like half of it over the next hour.
I got the nice CoinGecko notifications in the morning.
Did you have the CoinGecko notifications on?
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Well, in my portfolio, yeah.
Wow.
It's pretty great.
Dude, I thought you were only holding stables.
No. Now you need to be in the markets. You know, like I was in the shitcoin season, bro. I was in Pepe. Yeah. I was in Mong. I was in all the dumb shit.
Mong, I forgot about Mong. That was sick.
Yeah, I was talking to the scammers who made Mong yesterday.
Really?
They were like, well, they didn't make it, but they're like loosely involved with the whole BitLord crew and all that.
No, dude, Mong's not a security, man. Like, the's no effort. There's no efforts of others because there's no effort.
True. Still waiting for marketing.
You see, you got the notifications.
Just the next day, it's like your coin is moving. It's like minus 20%. Next coin minus 20%. It was an interesting situation.
So as of this morning, stuff had been down like 20-30%. Not great, down bad. And you know, Coinbase has said that like they haven't made a decision to delist anything right now. Now, interestingly, if you look back at the Ripple case, right? So when Ripple was like alleged to be a security and like sued by the SEC, it was delisted from Coinbase pretty much immediately, or like very, very soon thereafter, right? Mm-hmm. But that was a lawsuit like against Ripple directly.
Yeah. Whereas
like this lawsuit is against Coinbase and Binance.
And they just listed these things.
Yeah. And so Coinbase is like, nah, this is our suit, so we can do what we want, right? This isn't like the SEC coming to us and being like, hey, guys, just so you know, we're suing these guys. They're offering an unregistered security. You need to take that down. Mm-hmm. This is the SEC being like, half your business is unregistered securities. What do you want to do about it?
Yeah.
And Coinbase has no choice but to fight it, right? Obviously,
of course.
It's existential. And I don't see the upside for them of giving in on these tokens in particular, because it just opens up this like precedent, right?
Yeah.
Like prior to the lawsuit getting like settled, right? They need to sort of stand their ground on it. So I think that's kind of how it's going to play out. Hard to say though. And interestingly, so the question is, if you're like part of the team at Solana, for example, like what do you do, right? Like what, there's no upside for you attracting more like attention. Not that you don't already have the full attention of the SEC, but there's no, like, if you go out and you're like, we challenge the basis of like, we challenge these allegations. We're obviously not offering a security. Like, we disagree with the SEC's stance. You're looking at it and you're like, man, maybe I'm like inviting pain here.
Yeah, there's nothing to do here.
Yeah.
The thing I realized is like, if the SEC doesn't notice you, they're just not going to do anything. And if they do notice you, they have a reason to.
And it means you're big. You're already big enough that like, that you earned it. And the SEC is just like one country as well. Which like, if you enter like territory where like your founders are in the U.S., the labs company is based in the U.S., and you start like attracting SEC attention, that's not great, right? But even if like the U.S. exchanges have to delist your token, you might still be allowed to just like operate in the U.S., right? Until you like attract their attention.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of like zero return, all risk to do anything if you're one of these foundations. But it didn't stop. But didn't stop Solana from coming out and saying directly,
we do not believe
with the.
No, they're like, we don't believe we're a security.
Yeah.
Like, thanks, guys.
Yeah, and then Polygon did a similar thing. Even like more nebulous. They were just like, we don't like when people FUD. We're building technology. End of story. Like, we'll continue building for the global like digital settlement layer or something. Didn't mention securities, didn't mention tokens, didn't mention the SEC, but like very clearly like that was the angle. And so it's interesting to see there's literally zero upside for these guys to do anything like at all, right? Like it just seems like clearly not the play. So
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, no, there's zero reason for them to get involved. This is like an exchange thing. Let the exchanges deal with it.
Yeah, let the exchanges deal with it.
Yeah.
So the exchanges are going to go to court to fight like all of our battle here.
Yeah. Thank you, Brian.
Thank you, Brian. Based Brian. Dude, I'm going to stake my ETH with Coinbase now.
Nice.
I just want to give them like enough like a little revenue stream to like help them keep going.
Hell yeah.
But one thing that I've noticed across the board is that people act like getting named a security is like literally the end of the world. And it's just like at that point you're dead. Like dead, right? It's a little bit like getting some kind of chronic disease, right? Where you just assume that like if you get it, you're fucked. Like that's it. You might as well be dead at that point. But a lot of chronic diseases, we have like high quality medications to treat people, right? Like it feels like, people don't think about like what actually happens from here. What do you think happens from here?
It's going to be really dependent on the Ripple case, I think.
Yeah.
And then just, I don't know, 2 to 3 more years of this stuff playing out in court. I think that I literally have no idea. Yeah. I think you could really make a case that many of these things are securities.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
I mean, if they're securities and they're not registered, and a lot of them are unable to register just because of the way the whole thing, the system is set up, right?
Yeah.
Then that's not great for your token price because the U.S. like customer base has no access, and like their holdings get like market sold,
right? Or it just is a matter of time until some of the big ones register, or like the big exchanges get licenses, that kind of stuff.
Well, they'll have to get licenses, but also like, the way like securities registration works is like it requires a lot of overhead. It requires like financial statements, right? Yeah. Like all sorts of things. It requires the people involved in it to not be like tweeting out of pocket shit the way that like everybody on crypto Twitter does, right? It's like Saylor says. He's like, dude, you will never see me discuss MicroStrategy stock price. Ever. Like, I can't do that. I'm definitely not allowed to do that. I'll go to fucking jail if I ever discuss MicroStrategy stock.
Yeah.
But Bitcoin, I can tell you to fucking mortgage your house and buy Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Do it. Mortgage your house and buy Bitcoin. Like, get on the train, man, before it leaves the station. Bitcoin's going to the moon. It's interesting, right? I think it's really hard to see a world where anyone but Avalanche registers. You see the Solana Foundation doing it? They're so tech heavy. They're not really business people,
I don't know. Yeah, I would see. I don't know. I could see a couple of other foundations doing it. I don't know. Solana probably later in the game. It's all TBD.
Near Polkadot?
Yeah, probably like near. I literally have no idea. I don't know, dude. All this stuff is just so like lawyers need to figure this shit out.
Flow
for sure. Yes.
Flow for sure. 100%.
Cool. What else? Anything else happened this week?
No, I've been trying to figure out the right way to I've been workshopping this joke. Have I told you about this?
No.
Oh man, it's not there yet. It's something about like people ask me how my week's going, and I tell them all, I've been talking to my therapist, and my therapist says all my problems stem from insecurities, but I keep trying to tell them it's actually my problems stem from securities.
Wow. Yeah.
It's not quite there
needs
yet.
Workshopping. This is like a Crypto Mondays workshopping, situation. You need to ask the boys in Stanford what they think.
Oh man.
All right. Well, this is good. This has been our first recap in a bit. Thanks for tuning in. This has been the Decent Crypto Podcast. We'll be back in a few days with our newest deep dive. Have a good rest of your weekend, everybody. Till next time, stay decent.
folks. None of this was financial advice, legal advice, investment advice, or any other kind of advice. If you're looking for advice, you are definitely in the wrong place. Until next time, stay decent.